that photography related questions or just like random general questions? Or
Mainly random in general.
A little both.
Okay, sweet. I'm excited for that. That's actually something I'm stoked for.
Yeah,
That's fun stuff.
Yeah, we're keeping it consistent this year and staying with the same questions. We did switch it up a bit last year.
Okay,
so.
cool.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to part 2 of this episode. We're sitting here with Jordan MacDonald. Make sure to like and subscribe on the podcast. Do all that fun stuff. 5-star rating. You guys know the routine of the intro. But yeah, check us out on Instagram at Born to Create Podcast. On this part 2 of the episode, we're going to be talking about like you living in Europe and a lot about traveling and stuff like that. So I'll start off with the first question. Does like where you are, whether that be in like Europe or Canada or like wherever else you travel to, like kind of influence you in what you shoot? Or do you tend to shoot the same stuff?
I think it shapes you, and then you also kind of adjust to it. Like I think 100% it matters where you are. My stuff is mostly dark and moody. And for me to go to Los Angeles, where it's mainly sunny, it's completely different. Like I have to adjust to it, and like I can't change the weather in Los Angeles, right? So it forces me to shoot and to edit differently. So without a doubt, location is. I actually think it's one of the biggest components of developing a person, developing their style, and yeah, just developing how people work and what they create.
Yeah. How'd you shoot your portraits out there then?
It actually
moody?
wasn't that sunny when I was there.
Okay.
Like for whatever reason, we picked the absolute worst time to go to LA. We were there for 10 days and we maybe had 3 sunsets or 4 sunsets. The rest was cloudy and rainy and cold. It wasn't warm.
That's weird.
I say that it was way warmer than it was here, obviously, but it was still only like 13 degrees. So I was wearing pants every day.
Yeah.
Shit. Like kind of. It's good for you photography wise, but it kind of sucks like in a way vacation wise.
That's straight up England weather.
Yeah, bro, I was so used to it from being in England that it felt like home almost. But no, it was still pretty cool. We made use of the time when there was sunsets, and that's kind of when I would shoot. When there was sun out is when the sun was going down, golden hour, during sunsets, blue hour, all that kind of stuff, because there's less light or it's less harsh anyway. But yeah, like you kind of just have to work with it, with what times you go out to shoot when something doesn't work with your style, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
And sunsets over there are insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't find that here.
No,
it's just something else completely. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think it, like for me, there's some sort of serenity with being near water. I love being near water, and like I took a trip to Malibu one day. We drove down the coast. And we saw sunset on one of the beaches. It's called El Matador Beach, I think it's called. And that was one of the coolest experiences, like on that trip, but in my life in general. It was just the sunset there was so surreal, man. Like it just, like you said, you cannot find that here or anywhere that close to here.
It's like that one spot. It's like it's completely different vibe with the sunset.
100%.
It's just I don't know what it is. It's just crazy different.
Yeah. Is that your first time going to LA?
It was my first time in California. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I went with 3 other photographers, and it was solely a trip to take photos. So that's why I didn't really care that the weather was like that, because it fits my style, and I was going there to take photos anyway. But yeah, like it was my first time there. It was a lot of fun.
Was it more like street and just landscapes, or did you do a couple of portrait shoots as well?
Mostly portraits, actually. Yeah. I didn't do a lot of street stuff because I wasn't staying in downtown LA.
Yeah.
It was more like landscape and a lot of portraits. We reached out to so many people, and we met up with so many different people that, like, I honestly didn't have time to do a whole lot of other stuff because we were going throughout my entire trip. It was pretty busy. Yeah. Do you
mainly just find all your models like through the DMs pretty much, or like?
Yeah, like so typically when I go somewhere, like if I was to go to England in a month from now, I would go on this account called UK Shooters that they have, and then UK Portraits. So UK Shooters would tell me locations, UK Portraits would give me an idea of what kind of models I want to work with. I would just scroll through the feed. If there's somebody, guy or girl, whose style I like and who looks pretty cool, I'll follow them and shoot them a message. It's nothing crazy, and then I'll just create an Excel spreadsheet with like contacts from England, and yeah, just go through that, see who I can get. Obviously, I'll try to fit in as many people as I can, reach out to as many people as I can, like even more than that, and yeah, I'll just schedule my days after people confirm. So that's typically what I'll do. But this trip was completely different. I reached out to so many people because LA is like the land of the influencer or the model. So I reached out to a lot of people and ended up meeting a bunch of really, really cool people. So it was a ton of fun, but it was different this trip. Like I met a lot of people through connections instead of just through the DMs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So did you just use Instagram for location scouting out there, or did you like
out there, like
Google
I was
stuff, like word
out
of
there? I
mouth?
was just with so many people that I never really had to think about it, which was
Okay.
good for me because I don't like planning, like we talked about in the last episode. But yeah, I kind of knew where the main places that I wanted to go and to shoot. But for the most part, it was there was a couple guys that we met up with there that pretty much hung out with us every single day, that just took us to spots that they liked, that weren't too overshot or saturated with people, which was really nice. I lucked out big time.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your like your travel kit look like? Like, what do you bring in with you?
I'm lacking a lot. I don't have a ton of gear. I obviously bring my laptop, which is MacBook. I do have a drone. I have a Mavic Pro, just the first generation, which I try to bring everywhere, if it fits in whatever bags I'm bringing. And then I have my camera, which is a Sony a7 II. I have an 85, a 135. It's an old Minolta lens, which is pretty cool. I love using it. And also a 28-70 usually is my travel kit. And that's what I'll bring with me. I would love to have more gear, something better for portraits, but because I just started getting really into portraits, I haven't invested into a lens yet. Looking at that next.
So what do you like? What kind of lens were you looking for? Something wider or?
Yeah, wider.
Wider,
Yeah,
okay.
like my 28-70 is okay, but I'm looking for something better, like anywhere from like a 35 or 50. Ideally, probably a 50, but I don't know. I'm researching right now.
Fair enough.
What do you shoot on?
What do you mean?
Like what camera?
Sony.
Sony. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a mirrorless guy. I'm a
There you go.
mirrorless guy myself.
Oh yeah.
I mostly got it when I started because when I was doing video, we had A7Ss for video and to do slow motion and get that kind of stuff. So as like a secondary camera, I bought the A7 II at the time, and I love it. I probably won't ever change. It's compact, it's small. I can travel with it, which makes it easy for me.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Anywhere you plan on traveling in 2020?
2020, I am going to Miami, but that's not a photo trip. I'm
That's
going
it.
to try to schedule some stuff, but it's just a trip to my friends and I go travel every year to see the Last Sens away game. The last one this year, or the second last one, is in Miami, or it's the Florida Panthers. And we're just doing 7 days in Miami,
Sure.
and doing that. So that should be super fun.
Yeah.
Photography wise, I don't have anything planned. I would like to head back to either New York or London if I was to go back to somewhere that I have visited. And new spots, I want to go to Chicago. I'm a street photographer. I've been to New York, I've been to London, I've been to Paris. So the next thing for me, I think, is Chicago. It's something I want to try. I've heard a lot of good things about street shooting there. So that'll be next. That'll be the next one.
Nice.
And I'm excited about it. Yeah. What about you guys? Are you guys thinking of traveling anywhere anytime soon? What are you thinking?
I definitely want to go to New York.
Yeah. Have you never been?
Like, I've been to New York, but not really to go shoot.
Fair.
You know,
fair.
like family trips when you're like 8
Yeah.
type of thing or whatever. But I want to go to New York to shoot. Definitely want to go back to Toronto, go mess around there and shoot with some more models and like stuff like that.
Mhm.
Probably do Montreal again, just day trip it.
Yeah.
That's what me and him did last time. Part of me wants to go to Lake Louise.
Yeah.
Just to capture all that out there. And
I would want to do that too. I just think, like, for my style, I'm like, if I'm going to be creating stuff specifically for my feed,
yeah.
going there works, but it's not at the top of my list as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Like Lake Louise would definitely just be like a personal like
Yeah,
satisfaction
100%,
thing. Like
100%. Yeah.
I want to shoot
Yeah,
that,
totally.
you know? yeah, besides that, don't really have like I'd love to go to LA.
Yeah. Have you guys ever traveled together?
We went Montreal.
Did
Toronto.
Montreal and Toronto,
Yeah.
but that's about it for the
Okay.
most part.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I want to go to LA eventually. Just
you got to do it.
Got to go to LA. I want to.
It's the Mecca.
What?
It's the Mecca. Like the Mecca is like the center.
Yeah, I want to go for like at least like I'd love to go for a month, but like that's gonna be pretty pricey.
Yeah.
And just like message as many people as possible, get the name out in LA.
Yeah, you got to do it. The thing is, like, having gone there once, I wouldn't go there for a month as your first time, because when I went there, like originally, people just operate differently, and so I reached out to 80 or so people when I went to LA. I got in touch with 12 or 13 really big people. I ended up shooting with none of them. Of the people that I actually confirmed with, I ended up shooting with a bunch of big people, but it was all random. And the reason why I say don't go for very long is because you need to go once to get your base set up, and like establish a network. If you go for a month, like you might be struggling to find that right away. Like you need to go establish that base, then come back and like work on these people, because people in LA need like an extra like talking to, or not necessarily talking to, but they need an extra bit of persuasion in order for you to work with them for whatever reason. I don't know, but that's just the way that I found it when I was there.
No blue check marks, it's a no.
Yeah.
It's LA, man.
It's kind of like that. Like unless you're providing them with something, or you position it in a way where, hey, I'll create content for you, they probably won't reply or even follow through with you. Like, because I had those people reply that just, some of it was me being really busy and not having the time. Some of them were just like, these people were so big on social media that they probably didn't care to, like, they probably get this all the time. So, you know, I think like do it for sure, but know that the first time you go is probably not going to be as productive as you want it to be.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely want to go with someone who's like already has been and like
That's
already has some connections.
That's what I
you know,
did, and it helped a ton.
Oh,
yeah, because Toronto killed us when we went.
Yeah,
like we were there for a full week, and it was just like shoot after shoot after shoot after shoot.
Yeah.
And then we were so gassed because we did like 4 shoots in a day. We'd have 3 hours sleep, and we just crashed a whole extra day, like a full day.
Getting drunk that one night did not really help at all.
No.
But that was also like a Friday night out with people from Red Bull.
True.
You're gonna go
Can't
hard.
say no,
You
Of
know?
course. Yeah.
Can't say no to that.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
no,
Yeah.
definitely. LA. What about you?
Back to New York, man, because I was there for a week, but
Yeah.
I was working, so I was only shooting. Like the only time I can shoot for myself would be like after 5, which was like pitch black. So like it cuts down all the nice lighting that happens on the buildings and everything.
100%.
So I was like, you can shoot nightlife, but there's only so much you can shoot in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So go back to there, go back to England. That'd be sweet. Just travel, meet the family again.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because I shot there. I was probably like 13, 14.
Okay.
So I had like what? Rebel XI, XS, like the first Rebel that ever came out. So like
really trash camera, like
kit lens, you know. So
that's right.
nice to go back there.
Why do you travel?
I feel like it expands my creative horizons. I just think, it challenges me to create in different settings, because every place is pretty much different. And if I go outside of Ottawa, if I go outside of Toronto, I don't know who I'm really working with. And I think meeting those people is another thing that I really, really enjoy. Like the people that I met in LA, the people that I met when I was living in England, I'll never forget those people or those experiences that I had with them. And I find meeting people is one of the most enjoyable things that I find about doing creative work. I meet people that I would never meet otherwise. So.
Oh yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
It's just a different culture, different vibes, and you just it's crazy.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I love to travel. I'm going to keep traveling as long as I can, as long as I can afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it gets pricey sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you have any travel hacks?
Yeah, a couple. Do you know what Skyscanner is?
No.
You got to use Skyscanner. Skyscanner will tell you when you should be flying. At least in Europe, it does that with like cheap airlines and stuff like that. It'll tell you like, okay, if you say, okay, I want to fly in April, but I don't know which days, it'll tell you which days are the cheapest or the most expensive or whatever. It also give you like the cheap airlines. It'll break everything down for you. So Skyscanner is really cool. Rome to Rio is sick. It's like Rome and then the number 2 Rio. Rome to Rio is a platform where I could literally type in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and then I could type in like a small village in Eastern Germany, and it would tell me the exact way to get there. So it will say like take a flight, then take 2 trains, then take this bus, then take this bus, and then it will tell you like the exact thing, estimated cost, everything. So if you don't know how to get somewhere
Nice.
and it's like in the eastern corner of whatever country, it'll tell you exactly how to get there. What else? Downloading maps saved me quite a few times when I didn't have data. So you can actually go on Google Maps, download the map, and then use like location services without having data. That saved me a few times for sure. And then you can also download languages. So if I was going to a different country, if I was going to Germany, I would download German. And then if I was about to travel to another country after Germany, I'd download that country's language as well. And it just helped me communicate with people. And that actually helped save me a few times too. So it's just like little things like that. Maybe not photography wise, but like actual travel tips. Like those would be, there's like things like that.
Shit, those are some actually really good tips. Are the first 2 like apps, or you just look them up on the internet type of thing?
Rome to Rio is like a web platform.
Okay.
Skyscanner is the same thing. They might have apps. When I was using them, I would just look it up on my desktop.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Damn, those are some good tips.
Yeah. Any crazy stories while traveling? You want to start?
Where do you want me to start?
You tell me.
Let's go with the craziest experience that you've been through while traveling.
Okay. Like, so when I was in LA this past time, I was with my friend Emily, that I told you about, in the past episode, and we were in LA. We just finished doing a shoot, which was really, really cool. And she told me that her friend from Paris that I helped introduce her to, but I had never met, was eating somewhere, and we all wanted to eat together. So we went to eat, and this guy from Paris was really cool. He had a friend, his name was Jasper, and shout out to Jasper. I know we're doing a lot of shout outs here, but Jasper's a really cool guy. This guy was like an 18 or 19-year-old real estate agent, that I didn't know this at the time. He was just a really nice kid from LA. And we hit it off. Like, he was really cool, whatever. And we planned to like see each other later in the week, but in LA, I don't know if that actually means we're going to see you later or not. But midway through the week, after having met this guy, he sent us a text message, and he said, I'm looking at these properties and I want to get some content shot in it. Do you think that we could we could have you 4 photographers like come through, shoot a little bit of stuff for yourselves, shoot a little bit of stuff for us, and you can have free reign. And I thought it was a cool idea, but I go to click into these links. He sent me 2 links. Yeah. The 2 links were to mansions, like massive mansions in the hills. One of them was $14 million US. The other one was $14.5 million US.
Jesus.
So naturally, we picked the $14.5 million one because it's more expensive. And he set up the time for us to go and set up content. He literally told us, well, he gave us like a set group of people that he wanted us to try, and like influencer types that he wanted us to try and get there. But then he also kind of said like, bring whoever you want. There wasn't really any limitation on it. But he was limiting numbers, but not necessarily who people were. And so we went and we shot, and we got to this mansion. Sure enough, like $14.5 million right in the Hollywood Hills off Sunset Boulevard. And we get to the house, and we shot some content for them, for about we shot for a total of about 3 hours, and that was the experience. But like, having met that kid, I never thought that would even be a thing. Having met anyone, I never thought that would be a thing. And it happened out of nowhere. I just didn't expect it. It seemed like the most LA thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
And he was a really cool kid. I got to give a lot of the kudos to him and what he's doing, because he's obviously doing well for himself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
14.5.
14.5 million US dollars. And you can only imagine what like conversion on that is. And
Holy.
yeah, it was pretty damn nice. They had the pool going, 3 floors. And I mean, I don't know how big the floors were, but like you could probably have a party of like 200 people and it would probably still not feel full. Like it was just massive. It was huge. So yeah.
That's
Any
too
good
much
shots?
space for me.
Pardon?
Any good shots?
I got a lot of good shots. I mostly shot video there actually.
Okay.
So they were doing a video shoot for a clothing brand called Homies from Paris, which is the guy who was from Paris. It was his clothing line. And I was mostly shooting video for them for that. So I don't have a ton of stuff to share photo wise. I took some portraits, but the video stuff is coming and it's gonna be sweet because
Nice.
it was filmed in Mansion. So
Can't wait to see it.
yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, but
Crazy.
yeah, that's just one of many stories. Yeah,
Shit. Do you have any stories from Europe?
tons, man. So I'll tell you actually a story about the one time that I was saved by maps and languages. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen on Instagram the bridge in Germany that is a semicircle, but there's a reflection in the water that makes it look like a full circle.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's called the Rocketsbrück, which is like, it's called the Devil's Bridge or something like that. Anyways,
Sketchy.
I had flown to Berlin with my friend Omar, and we were in Berlin for 3 days. I think it was for like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we had nothing to do for our last day. And he knew that I really wanted to go see this, but it was super expensive. You needed to take 2 trains to get there, then a bus, and then the same thing, 2 trains back and another bus. But he told me, he's like, we have nothing to do and you're never going to be around here anytime soon. So let's just do it. So we booked the train tickets. We took our 2 trains. We got on our bus. And by the way, this is like in the eastern forests of Germany. There was maybe like 2,000 people in this town tops, and it was like a pretty big rural area. So we get off at this little train stop, get on the bus. The bus goes for like 10 minutes. We get off and we go to this national park because that's where it is. We go and we shoot for a little while, which was cool. Like it was pretty surreal. It was one of my bucket list items to see this thing. And when we're done, we go back to the bus stop, and we get to the bus stop and we look at the times, and the bus comes 3 times a day. And our train leaves in like 2.5 hours, and like the bus is not coming before our train comes. And we had no idea where we were. Like we were in the farm fields of Germany, had no clue where we were going. And I wasn't sure. I don't know whether it was myself or Omar that had the maps up, but we literally walked from this national park to the train station, through farm fields, through people's backyards, through like, it probably wasn't the safest thing to do because it was like the eastern corner of Germany.
Yeah.
Nobody spoke English, nothing. We were walking through these people's backyards, and we eventually got back to the train stop. But if we didn't, if we didn't have those apps on our phone, we would have been screwed, like done.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was pretty fun. I'm here to tell the tale, so it was all right. But yeah.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
I love it. Just we're just walking through people's backyards.
Dude,
no
it was-
idea.
It was like it was pretty surreal. Like we got some pretty weird looks because people could tell we were not from there. We were like, I was obviously like, I had like ripped jeans on and like a Nike jacket on, and people are like, what is this guy wearing? What is this guy looking like? They could totally tell that we weren't from there. We actually ended up having time to go eat very quickly before our train in the little town that was there. And when I had to order, with my phone and the languages, because they spoke 0 English, none, not a single person in the restaurant. And I could barely even read the menu. Like I had to type it in with some of the special German letters and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
Man.
Yeah, like tons of stuff like that. But that was like one of the biggest ones. I also was really into urban exploring when I was at that point in time when I was in England.
It's England and Germany, like you have to.
Yeah. Like I was more into like my parents didn't love this, and my grandparents, but I was into like the climbing the buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah. Rooftoping and stuff.
Rooftoping. Yeah. It got pretty dangerous. And I don't think I would do it anymore. It's just not worth me doing it anymore. Like I've done it already. I've experienced it. But when I was doing it, it was probably the coolest of experiences that have happened to me, just because like I value shots that people don't get to see very often, or perspectives that they don't get to see, at least.
Yeah.
And rooftopping is one place that people don't get to go up to all the time, so it was pretty surreal. Yeah. I did it in Paris and in London, so that was pretty fun.
Shit, yeah. There's a lot of rooftoping out there. Like
Paris has a pretty big community. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't know if like they're cool with that or not, but like the people there have their own like community with it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kind of know one of them, you know all of them, and they go all the time. And so I ended up meeting one through work like 4 years ago. I worked at a canvas printing place called Canvas Pop, and I tried to get one of the guys to take over our Instagram and kind of tell his story. So when I was going to Paris, I reached out to him and said, hey, like, can you like show me around, teach me to shoot? And he said, definitely. And I actually ended up texting him the night before that I was getting into Paris and saying like, hey, is everything all good? Are we still down to shoot? And he said, actually, no. And I was like, why? Like, why not? What's up? And he sent me a picture of himself in the ICU with tubes running through his nose, saying like, I'm like really sick. I can't take you, but here's the names and numbers of 8 people in Paris. Reach out to them, tell them you know me, and they'll take you. And I think like it was 10 people that I reached out to. 9 of the 10 people replied like almost immediately, and they were all down to take me, every single one of them. So I was only there for 2 days, so I only had 2 people take me, one each day. But that was pretty cool and kind of sketchy because like not because of the people, but because of how they got up. It was literally they just walk into apartment buildings or get codes to apartment buildings, use the codes, and then climb up into the attic. Like there's no elevator to the top with like you pick locks. Like nah, you grab the wooden ladder off the wall, put it up to the attic, and hope that somebody doesn't come. Not while you're doing it, like the entire time while you're up on the roof, because the ladder doesn't fit into the attic. Yeah,
that's next level. Holy.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. And I did like the one time that that was the case, that we had to take the ladder off the wall. There was an apartment at the top right beside the ladder, and so if somebody would have come up there, like I mean they probably could have ignored it, but in my mind like they probably wouldn't have. And so yeah, like it was kind of just like a nerve-wracking feeling the entire time that I was up on the roof. But at the same time, that made it one of the coolest experiences for me. It was at sunrise that we got to see. I was in Paris, and I got to see Paris kind of wake up. And that was top 10 moment in my life for sure.
Yeah.
But it was sketchy though, because the first thing that the guy said to me, I've never met this guy. We met him at like 4:30 in the morning to catch sunrise. And the guy goes, yeah, by the way, if we get caught, we're going to jail. And I was like, oh, nice. Especially for me, because if I had gone to jail at all, I was in school in England.
Yeah.
I would be going home. Yeah. I would be like shipped back to Canada. So that wouldn't have been great. But you know, like it worked out, and I did it, and I'm happy that I did it, but I would not do it. Like I would not do it again. Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Damn, that's pretty insane, man.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good time.
It was
like a once in a lifetime type of thing,
yeah.
Like just to do it, to get the shot, but
gets a blood pumping.
It does.
Oh yeah.
It's super nerve-wracking, and kind of it was different in different scenarios. Like the thing in Paris was being up there, because like anybody could see you, and if they see you, like they're gonna
say something. And,
When I was in London and did it, it was more about getting into the place. Because we did a construction site.
Yeah.
And the construction site was more about getting into it, because once you get in, it was like closed off, and I mean people might look up and see you, but we were so high up that people probably wouldn't look.
Yeah.
And so that was really weird, because it was like I asked the guy like, how the hell are we gonna get in there? And he said, we just gotta wait until nobody's looking, and then hop the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was just weird for me to wait that 5-10 minutes that we had to wait in like a busy part of London to get over that wall. And this is a guy I've never met in my life. Like none of these people I've ever met. It was all weird to me. I had to ask them, you guys, like, how many times have you gotten caught doing this? Because like I can't get caught. And then they told me like, I've done this like 50 times. I've never gotten caught. All right, cool. We're doing it. Let's go.
I now trust you more. But
yeah, you got a good track record. I'm in.
Yeah.
So
Oh man.
yeah,
Damn.
there's
Yeah.
pretty cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
Shit. Were they like? Did they like YouTube it and stuff like that?
No. Especially like, yeah, no, they just don't want to get caught, because you can actually like there's like ramifications for it now. Like if you put your face in videos for stuff like
Okay.
that, like cops will come after you. They're getting more
Yeah.
digital about it, and
Big
that's
time.
just why. That's another reason why I just don't want to say their names.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's fair.
Not that anybody there that will see this like right away, but like
Yeah.
if they do, I just
Yeah.
No, that's fair. There's this YouTuber I used to like. I got bored for a week, so I was just
Yeah.
like going through the whole YouTube stuff, and like there's like this one guy who just like gets like groups of people, and they
Yeah.
all just go rooftoping and stuff
know
like
what?
that, man. Like
people, from my experience, people in London and in Paris hate that, because it jeopardizes it for the rest of them. Like the more they bring groups to do these kinds of things, the more attention it brings to it, and the more attention it brings to it, I mean, you're bringing everybody's attention, not just the people that are interested in it. You're getting the people that are
Security
severely
goes up.
uninterested in it and think it's dangerous too. So like, I think doing it is fine personally, but doing it in massive groups is,
mhm.
yeah, those people will tell you that they don't love it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's fair. Well, like one guy, whatever the in the UK, the huge like sports.
Nightscape. Do you know Nightscape?
Yeah, I know who he
Yeah.
is, but like there's another guy whatever the huge like not like a dome but arena is in UK or
Wembley?
London.
Wembley's like the biggest stadium.
It's the
in
stadium.
London.
Yeah.
It's like a white dome type of thing over it.
I honestly don't
remember
remember, to be honest.
Anyways, but yeah, it's like one of the huge like
Half
sports
dome?
domes or whatever arenas.
Yeah.
I don't know, it had a white top to it and there's towers and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys would climb up it and there's like snipers pointing at them and like just some crazy ass shit. Ended up escaping somehow and not getting away with it. It's,
In the UK.
yeah, man. Or I think it was in London specifically.
It might have been at one of the Olympic stadiums.
Could have been.
It could have been that.
I don't remember. But yeah, there's like 9 of them up there.
You gotta get snipers on that. Because I'm thinking that, or just in Australia, like the big opera.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like you're
Yeah.
you're getting shot down.
Oh, yeah. No, like 7. Like there was so many people that they didn't arrest him, and then the 2 chilled up there. The 2 came down, and then like he's still videotaping it just for his own like personal safety,
Yeah.
but like for YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And then like security's all talking to him stuff, like just slowly pulls out his bus pass, holds it in his hand or change pass, waits, looks around, pets a dog, and just gets up and just dips. And then gets chased after, and his other buddy dipped, and sketchy.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't do that.
I am past that phase, thankfully.
Yep.
But hey, if you're willing to risk it, go for it. But not me, not anymore.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair, man. Trying to think of some other stuff to talk about for traveling wise. Is there anything you'd like to talk about traveling?
I'm trying to think. I one thing that I really love when I travel is that people seem to be so open about collaborating. When I'm in Paris, when I'm in London, even sometimes in New York, LA, that kind of thing. When I reach out to people, man, it seems to be way easier than I always related back to when I started here and I try to reach out to people. I find Ottawa notoriously bad for being segmented in terms of groups of people that like to shoot with each other. I think it's getting better, but it still is one of the worst cities that I've experienced it in, at least. And I want to see that change for sure, because I go to like London, and I went the first day I was in London. I went to an Instagram meet. I just saw it was on my feed. Nightscape actually like posted about being there. So I was like, I gotta go there. So my friends took my bags to the hotel. I went to this meet, met up with these people, and Ryan Howard, the guy I told you about earlier, that had the portrait landscape in his feed, he was there, and he was at the time my favorite photographer. I was like, there is never going to be a time where I see this guy in person again. I have to go speak to him. So I went up and I said, hey man, I don't mean to bother you, but I really appreciate your work. I'm from Canada, and I just wanted to say hello. And he's like, it's not a problem at all, man. Like, how are you doing? Like, he was interested in talking to me about who I was, asked where I went to school. Turns out we went to school like very close to each other. And then he said, if you're ever in London again, like, let me know, we'll shoot together. And I ended up shooting again with him. And this was a guy who was at the time, and still is, one of my favorite photographers.
Shit.
So it was just like,
yeah.
it just happened like that. And I wish Ottawa was more collaborative, and I want to try and do things to make it more collaborative, but I just don't know what that thing is yet.
It's hard. Like I've tried it. It
Well,
worked
you
out
used
a
to do
bit.
meetups and stuff like that, but then you get people that'll do stupid stuff at the meetup, and then like everyone else kind of looks bad because of this one person and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of like having been like not rejected, but having people say that they're people not reply when I've was beginning and trying to learn from them. I didn't say, hey, I need you to do this for me, or hey, I need something from you. I said, hey, like, I know that you're good at this. I want to learn from you. And based on the fact that a good number of people didn't reply to me, like, I don't want anybody that's in our creative field to ever feel like that if they're talking to me. Like, if somebody is genuinely interested in what we're doing, I want them to learn, and I want them to do well and progress. I don't care whether they end up getting better than me and progressing and making it, and I don't. That doesn't bother me. If you learn from me and I can help make your learning process better, I will do it. Like, I will never not reply to a reasonable message. To me, I will, like, no matter how big I am, or no matter how big or small the person is that's messaging me, it does not matter.
No, that's fair. I feel you on that. I you might be on board with me on this. I don't know. The only issue I have is I need to see that someone has put it in their own work to then allow my information to actually help them.
True.
Like, if you just message me out of the blue, you've just bought a camera and you want to go shoot.
Yeah.
Kind of like show me that you actually want to go shoot, take the time to learn a bit yourself and then ask me questions about it.
Yeah.
Don't just message me with a brand new camera, because then it's like, yes, I am helping you, but like, I also have my own stuff to worry about. I'll answer your questions. And then if you show me, like, you're answering all those questions, you go out and shoot. I've seen some photos.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll go shoot with you. But like, I need to see that initiative from you to go shoot, type of thing.
Yeah. So like, what I kind of base it off of, because I had some people reach out to me, is I let people ask me questions without having to see stuff. Like, if they have a couple questions for me, I'll just answer it. But if they're asking for my time, like you said, I require to see like some sort of effort into it. Like, if somebody says, hey, can I come shoot with you? And they're like, and I'll ask them, like, what are you shooting on? And they're like, my phone. And I'd be like, sorry, can't do that. But like you said, if they're showing like a substantial effort into trying to learn, I'm more than willing to help them.
Yeah.
Every time.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Because I've had people help me that didn't need to help me, and I feel like that should be reciprocated. No matter what level I'm on, or they're on, or anybody's on. I think it's important, and I think that's one thing. Like, mindset is a huge problem with people in Ottawa specifically, and I think if everybody was just more open about doing stuff together, that would be make a big difference. But obviously, I can't change everybody myself.
Yeah,
so.
Ottawa is just, I don't want to be mean, it's self-centered. It's just, that's how Ottawa is.
Yeah. And
I don't know where it came
Ottawa.
from, but it's just how it is. I don't know why.
And dude, I love Ottawa. I want to represent Ottawa so much. I just don't know how right now. I just don't.
Yeah.
So I'm working on ways to try and figure out how to do that.
You on that, man.
Yeah. Might try doing another meetup. We'll see. I don't know.
If you guys do another meetup, let me know, because I will be happy to be there and then push that to anybody that follows me or whatever. But I'm totally down anything community oriented.
It's just hard because there's not that many spots that haven't been shot in Ottawa.
You're right.
That's the only thing that troubles me about a meetup, is like actually figuring out where to go shoot that you're not going to get kicked out of, yelled at, or be disturbing a lot of people.
I also think that meetups aren't necessarily the only answer. They're a good way to do stuff, but galleries, workshops, doing a portrait walk, those kinds of things. I think, like, it doesn't have to necessarily be that format, but I think at this point anything would help. I want to see Ottawa grow progressively in the art sense in general, not necessarily just creative, like as a creative whole. And any way that I can help do that, I will be, and I want to focus more on that this year for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is like, does Ottawa want to grow?
I
Is the
think
only
so.
thing, because like I find like a lot of people like quote unquote Instagram photographers
Yep.
are all out there shooting the exact same stuff,
Yeah.
not really progressing that much from what I've seen and from people that I have followed and stuff like that. It just seems like everyone's out shooting the same stuff, not really trying to level up their game, you know? Like obviously I'd love to do a gallery in the future.
Yep.
And like love to do like photo workshops and stuff like that. Like I know I'm not there yet personally to be able to like provide enough value to people, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, does Ottawa want that? Like, do people?
I think you'd be naive to think in general that people don't want to. No, because if you think about it, like, would you want to be the same forever? I wouldn't.
I know I wouldn't, but like a lot of people, like I come back to the Instagram photographer. A lot of people just shoot for the fun of it.
Yeah.
You know.
But would you still not want to get?
It's still
better
community. Like it's still. We don't have to all be at the same level, is what we're trying to say.
No, I get that. I get that. But I find a lot of people are just always shooting the same stuff, shooting the same shit.
Yeah,
From what I've
but
seen,
it doesn't have to be like a shoot, right? Like what I did, was it last year or it might have been 2 years ago?
I think it was 2018.
Yeah,
I know what
it
you're
was
talking
2
about.
years
Yeah,
ago. I had a little meetup, and instead of just everybody meets up and we go shoot, I said whoever wants to come, we'll just chill at the NAC, which everybody can. And we were probably like 8 or so, and we were just chatting for 2 hours straight. It was insane.
Yeah.
And like, right, like it's just stuff like that.
And I just think that like maybe people don't know how to grow, and they aren't. But I think if the opportunity is there, why would you not want to?
Yeah, that's fair.
But you just might not know that the resources or like the community is available to you. Yeah, some people might not. You're right. Like, so some people might just be super content with where they're at, and that's totally cool. But for the people that are invested in art or creativity in general, I think that like obviously everybody should want to get better at what they do, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Because there is a couple of things, like I don't know if you know CM, Creative Mornings.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna mention
so so like that's been going in Ottawa for a bit. So like there's that, but like it's just yes, it's a community, but I don't think it's like a close enough community in a way. You good?
Yeah.
Just headphones?
Yeah.
So I gotta think of something. I gotta think of something to do this year that's gonna help that, and I want to try to do it because I do. I'm from Ottawa. I love Ottawa, and I want to see it prosper as much as possible.
Yeah, you just have to do something interactive.
I do.
Like,
you're right.
Maybe it's like instead of a meetup, it's an actual project.
Yeah.
That everybody can collaborate with, and there's an actual end product. It's not just shoot to shoot.
Yeah.
So let's say it's a huge project that at the end it's like all your work's gonna be inside a gallery, and it's
cool.
All the photographers. They all get to pick like their best shots from that one setup or that one stuff, and then it's like a whole art gallery off it or something.
Isn't that something that kind of like what Kai Retro did? Kind of.
What do you mean?
Well, with his gallery, he had like other artists and stuff in it, and like.
Yeah, that was different though. That was like a fundraiser.
Oh, okay.
For if you're talking about the one I shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fundraiser.
Oh, okay.
And it was like a bunch of like, I think you had burlesque dancers, you had makeup artists, you had a couple of like actual painters and stuff like that. And it's just like the whole community getting together.
Yeah, something like that would definitely be cool.
Yeah. It's really like low key stuff. Like if you're in the know, you know it. If not,
I mean, it also depends on like how you're trying to like impact people.
True.
Like, are you trying to hit the masses right away, or are you trying to do like one person at a time type of thing?
Good point.
Because like you can always do like something I know a lot of people do is just go on lunch meetings.
Yep.
Which I know you have done and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like even doing that's nice. I mean, one thing for me and him is having this podcast is nice. It's
totally.
not just reach out to as many people as we can type of thing. Bring other people on. Showcase people, showcase their knowledge, help people learn stuff like that. Like it all depends on how you want to go about things.
Yeah.
Definitely.
True.
A lot of ways to go about it. Write it down in your ideas book that you're gonna start.
If you guys are traveling, do you guys like to do more portrait shoots, or do you guys like to do like go to see a site and do landscape shots? Like, which one do you guys prefer to do?
I mean, Personally, I'd like to do both.
Yeah.
But then again, it also depends on where I'm going.
Sure.
Like if I'm going to Lake Louise, more or less for the landscape.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if I'm hitting LA, probably for a bit of both because there's nice sunsets and stuff like that. But there's also like lovely places to do portraits and like even New York. Like New York would probably be more or less for the portraits and stuff like that. But like it all depends on like what my plan is for that one specific trip. But mainly I tend to take both.
Cool. What about you, Frank?
Probably portraits.
Yeah.
I just, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Because you get to meet somebody.
True.
Right. Like I've been to a couple spots like last year, and it's just, we went to their house. Like we do the shoots for like the clients, but like you just talk to them. We have a crazy conversation, and they tell us recommendations like where to go eat,
100%,
and then you just go with them or not. And like you just build a communication in other places and learn that culture instead of just like looking at it as a touristic point of view kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the trip too. Like obviously the
yeah.
one you're talking about is business trip.
Yeah.
You're meeting clients and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's like you can still just meet models or meet people and then go from there.
So that brings me to my next question. Do you guys have like a top 3 or a top 5 list of people that you want to collaborate with when like you go do portraits in other cities? Do you have like I really want to shoot with her or him, or have you ever thought about that?
I have and I haven't.
Okay.
But for me, it's more or less who do I want to have a Polaroid of?
Okay.
Not necessarily like a full on shoot with them, but who do I want to have a Polaroid of?
Okay.
You know?
Interesting.
I'll name off a couple. Like one of them, Logan Paul.
Yeah.
No matter who hates him or thinks whatever, you can't hate the guy's hustle.
Yeah.
You cannot knock his hustle. So he's one person. Hey Big Mike, his best friend, just because he's fucking hilarious.
I saw them at a bar in LA.
It
would have been your chance to take a shot.
Man, I've written it down. Like I'm trying to manifest it. But yeah, those are 2 people. Obviously, Gary V. Yeah. Definitely one person. I don't really know else besides that. Probably Jason Anthony, who's like a content creator, shoots a lot of video and photos. Also has his own YouTube channel. He's someone that like I enjoy watching. Someone who will always answer you back no matter what kind of questions you have. Cool. So like mad respect to him. Yeah. Just unfortunately he does have cancer and stuff like that, so he's in chemo. Yeah. Which sucks, but he's definitely someone who like I kind of looked up to and like would love to have a Polaroid of. But yeah, it goes like shoot wise. I don't really know who I'd like absolutely love to shoot with.
Frank?
So
Am I putting you on the spot here?
No, I'm just trying to figure out the question. Like, are you talking about like like high end people, or just like anybody, anywhere?
I mean, you could anyone. It could be anyone. Okay. It could be a celebrity if you want it to be.
Yeah. Because like, there's a couple of photographers I would love to meet.
Oh,
and shoot.
You could do that too. Like if let's just say you had like an unlimited contact book and you could just call up these people and say, hey, I want to shoot, and they'd be down.
I'm shooting everybody.
just give you like a top 3 or top 5 or something like that.
Okay, Virgil Abloh, big time. Just collaborate on some crazy stuff there. Yeah. Gigi Hadid is always like #1 to shoot.
Yeah,
I just have to. Photographer wise would be Justin. Let me take I don't know his last name. I always forget it. But he's from New York and he's insane. I've posted a couple times and the Wi-Fi's not working.
No, it sounds about right. Wi-Fi's pretty trash.
Yeah. But yeah, his work's insane. Yeah, I keep showing it to everybody. So he really like goes full out on it, and he collaborates with this one guy.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I show you like 100 times. He does like full sets. Like he will build a full set. Like that's what he does, and he'll partner up with them and do crazy shoots.
Justin Bettman.
Yeah,
that's who he's talking about.
Okay,
insane work.
Oh wow, is that Daniel Radcliffe right there?
Yeah,
yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Like his work is just next level. Like he had his one gallery.
Damn.
Which was like is either Brooklyn or people of New York or people of Brooklyn.
Okay.
And it was like a barber shop. And then the other one was like a corner store or something like that. And like the lighting was insane. And what he would do for his installation was he would print those big like big frames and build it. And then he would have sounds. So it'd be like sounds of New York as well.
Oh,
and it's
cool.
just audio. So it's one picture, no video, but it's audio of that one place.
Okay.
Like it's just crazy
That's pretty
stuff.
sick.
But yeah.
Huh.
That's probably my top 3 for now.
I'm still trying to think of you, man.
I mean, there's a list, but like
Probably one person I'd love to shoot with, Sam Damashek.
Who's that?
He's like a 19-year-old photographer who lives in LA.
Okay.
He used to work for people like PacSun and stuff like
Okay.
that. Shoots with like a whole bunch of models.
Yeah.
he shoots film.
Shoots a lot of film as well, and like that retro type of style. So he's definitely someone I'd love to just meet, shoot with.
Yeah.
Probably Peter McKinnon.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, I don't even know if I'd shoot, just kind of like pick out his brain.
True.
Just talk with him about a lot of stuff. And then I'm just trying to think of like some model I'd love to shoot with.
Doesn't even have to be the top one. Just anyone that you think would be really cool that you haven't shot with yet.
One that's coming to mind, the one model that has a unibrow. She has been in the news a bit lately. I don't remember what her name is. She's like one of the, like huge model. She has a unibrow, and like a lot of like athletes have been like sliding into her DMs and stuff like that.
Of course.
But like I find like
As they
that
would.
would be like what?
I just said as they would. Of course they.
Yeah, I find like that could be like a cool shoot and like
Yeah. Do you have a
some-
specific concept in mind for that?
no idea.
Okay.
I know no.
Yeah.
It's just like if the opportunity came up, it would definitely like that's like a 6-month plan because I'd want to shoot video and
Yeah.
shoot film and like.
Cool. That is pretty cool.
What about you?
I'll try to give you one videographer, one photographer, one model. So, videographer wise, I don't know if you guys know who this is, but Tim Kellner. His name on YouTube is Tim to the Wild, and his style of video is kind of raw, but still extremely cinematic. Almost like you're watching a it's better. It's like way better than a vlog because it's filmed like super properly and professionally, but it just tells a story really well and gets you involved right away. One thing that I really like about him is that he does his own sound design. Like he sits there with the keyboard and makes his own music. So he knows the mood before he even goes in, can create it with his shots and his sounds, and his editing style. And he's incredible. Like I take my utmost, I take the most inspiration from him for video. Photographer wise, I don't know. You guys know who Josh Tepp is?
No.
Joshua Teplitz, I think is his full name. He's actually from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
But he's worked with people like Odell Beckham, Josh Gordon, who are like football players. But his concepts in general are like incredible. Just stuff that I've never seen before. Or do you guys know who Alessio Albi is? He's an incredible portrait photographer from Italy, because this is his name, Alessio. But if you guys know who Alan Palander is, who's friends with Peter McKinnon, stuff like that, Alan actually suggested I follow Alessio, and this guy's stuff is crazy. Concept-wise is like the coolest stuff that I've ever seen. So just even to pick his brain, like you said, that you want to do with Peter, would be super cool. It probably helped me out with my lack of planning as well, because this guy is like incredible. Model Ashley Sky. She was an old. She used to be a Maxim model, but now she's kind of like regressed in that, and she does like more formal stuff in like New York and London. I just like her look, and it's just like a simple. It's less like extra, more like I don't know, conservative, but like still like a cool style. I don't know how to explain it.
Clean, basic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I just like her feed.
Minimalist.
I also like her feed too. Like it kind of goes in line with what I'm doing. Like maybe not as dark, but like it goes together and fits well. And I don't know. I just feel like I'd appreciate her creative vision too.
Yeah. I hope this happens for all of us.
I do.
We actually
Speaking it into existence. Guys.
exactly.
Yeah.
We actually get to meet all these people.
We will. I have no doubt.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
We'll cut for a sec.
And then what's coming is just website, cranking out the rest of my website, getting that ready, making sure it's ready to go, and then after that, it's probably going to be focusing on video and getting my YouTube going for good. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Forgot to turn off your notifications. Come on, man.
It was off all the time. Now I wrecked it, man. I wrecked it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your website, actually.
Yeah,
Sick.
I'll show it to you guys right after this. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I think we should roll into lightning round.
Let's do
Wrap
it.
up
Hit
this
me with it.
episode.
I'm ready. I'm not actually ready. But I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Timer.
Lightning round. Oh, yeah. I'll roll the timer.
Can't start this without a timer.
How long do I have with each question?
As fast as you can.
Okay.
As
What-
best
what
as
is
you
timing
can.
What?
How long are you timing me for though? Like what?
Like
oh,
until you finish the 20
you're gonna give
questions.
you. I get. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's like as quick as you can.
Yeah.
But
okay.
as
but providing value, like not
Sure. I
like-
see.
not one word
I like it.
dumb answers
Okay,
type
sweet,
of thing, you know?
sweet, Yeah.
And then basically just gonna keep track of all of them and see who does it the quickest at the end of the year.
All right.
All right. When did we start it? We started after the first question, right?
I don't test
after
well, by
you
the
say
way.
the first question. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Are you ready? It's not really a test.
No, I'm just joking.
All right. Favorite meal?
Linguine, carbonara.
Oh yeah, you made that the other day.
I did, yeah.
Best piece of advice you've received?
You don't have to be the best, but you have to try to be the best.
Most played song?
Oh God. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure.
Favorite song?
Favorite song right now? Oh, Raph, ASAP Rocky, Frank Ocean, Lil Uzi, all those guys.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be?
London.
Dinner with 3 people. Who are you picking?
Dead or alive or both?
Any?
Frank Sinatra, Barack Obama, and Terrell Owens. I don't know.
Best learning experience so far?
In photography?
Just in general.
Living on my own in England.
First thing you'd buy if you won $1 million?
Vacation for my family.
Stuck on an island with 2 things. What are they?
Portable charger and like something to play music.
Last purchase?
Ooh. Clothes. I bought a hoodie. Yeah.
And what would you tell your younger self for question number 10?
Don't get frustrated when it seems like there's a lot of work for you to do. You're gonna make it no matter what.
Boom.
Not bad.
That's
not bad.
1 minute 17 seconds long.
Okay.
0.78 if we're counting those.
Okay.
I think Gabby did 130. Did
Was
she
it
not
130? Was it 110?
I don't remember. Fuck, we should really keep track of
I'm
these.
pretty sure it was 113, but I stopped it after. But
Okay.
anyways.
Damn, that's pretty quick, man.
I
There you
blanked
go.
on the favorite song. I listened to
All
a
good.
lot of music, so that really stubbed me there. But
Yeah.
Damn, that's fair.
Not bad. Not bad.
You've survived lightning
I
round.
did. I survived. I made it.
Do you have any final questions for us before we end this off?
No, but thank you very much for having me on, guys. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
Good
thanks for
conversation.
No problem, man. Thanks
Yeah.
a lot for stopping by and taking
anytime.
the time to join.
Anytime.
Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, because like 60 to 80% of you guys aren't subscribed right now. Takes 1 second. Just click the subscribe button. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm begging, but click the subscribe button. If you listen to this on iTunes and on Spotify, leave us a nice 5-star rating. Help us grow in the charts and help us to reach out to more creators and provide information to them. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at Born to Create Podcast. Find me on Instagram and the internet, interwebs, whatever, at acef.media.
On the line at Francois Mittens.
Dear God.
And you guys can find me on Instagram at j.mcdonald.
Everything will be linked in the description below. Make sure to check out his website when it comes out as well.
Dropping soon.
Yep.
And thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out.
Have a
Stay
good
woke.
one.